All right, so ladies and gents, welcome to the third round. And this will conclude the third round for this group. This has been a really competitive group, but right now you've got Yo at the top with 8 wins and 1 loss. DauT would like to join him today. DauT coming in with 5 wins here with a 3-0 against Daniel would join Yo at the top. But Daniel has looked really, really good, and convincingly good is what someone just said. He has, 3 wins? Which might not seem like a lot, but he got 1 win versus Yo, and then he 2-1 to Valis. Waiting for Daniel in his final 2 rounds will be the players that are at the bottom of the group, Running and then Licks. So odds are good that Daniel could make a push for the 3rd place spot, and if he beats DauT today, maybe even the 2nd place spot. Daniel's playing as the Italians here in Migration. DauT is playing as the Koreans, and if you're wondering why DauT has gone for the Koreans, because nobody else has gone for the Koreans. Look at this draft, okay? Just going to tab out to it for a second. All right, so Daniel's side specifically, he banned the Japanese, and then he picked Dravidians, Italians, Malay, which are all civilizations that are really good on this map. So Daniel really picked hard for good migration civilizations. Maybe in his mind, he feels like just getting a win against DauT is enough for him. And then he's able to get, win against Running and win against Licks and still get 3rd place. Or maybe he likes the water civilizations because DauT's home map is El Dorado. And El Dorado has a heavy water focus too. So I really like Daniel's draft to be able to actually win the series. But especially he's going to have the edge here. So DauT gonna have to be creative because the meta here has been fire ships, and Koreans do have fire ships, but they don't get demos. And so that can make the fire engagements awkward. I feel like there's a chance that we see DauT with like some weird tower play here. We could see DauT going for maybe turtle ships on water, which can be very strong against fires. But no real early bonuses to take advantage of. The Italians, it's cheaper to go up to each age. Cheaper dock technologies. Cheaper fishing ships. And those things right there make them one of the best civilizations for this map. Just trying to think how DauT would approach it. I could see him possibly wanting to even go forward dock with turtles. Because, like, surprise turtles are... It's much more realistic than probably sending those slow turtle ships across the map constantly. Could also see him using the fact that Koreans get guard tower and keep for free to maybe tower up the middle. Definitely prefer the Italians here, though, and we'll see. But, okay, so DauT has 5 wins after 2 rounds. Let's think about this. He 3-0'd Running. And what am I missing? He hasn't played Yo yet, right? Okay, so he hasn't played Licks. Who am I missing? Did he play Valis? Did he beat Valis 2-1? I think it was the Valis series. Why am I not remembering the Valis DauT series? I remember talking about the Valis DauT series because I remember the narrative was DauT had lost to Valis 2-1 in the previous season. But my brain is not taking me to any of the games right now. Oh, I remember. Okay, I remember Valis' win. Actually, it was on Socotra. Yes, okay, it's coming back to me now. So, DauT fishing away, to be expected. And Daniel will be doing the same. And Daniel going for double dock here. Cheap fishing ships makes this very possible. Everything's looking pretty clean for Daniel. Having spoken to Daniel, he feels very confident, and he tells me he thinks he can reach playoffs. Which will be top 12. And this is top 12 from the top 24 in the world, right? He was confident against Yo. I think he was in a position to beat Yo 2-1. He now sits top of the group. So if he was in a position to beat Yo 2-1, I think he could beat DauT today. And like DauT's style is a bit slower. It's a bit more strategic. Daniel, his weakness is strategy, but that's been getting better and better. And Daniel has so much ability with offense in like tiny little micro moments. And that's kind of the weakness for DauT is the tiny little micro moments. So... And Koreans will be fun to see. For DauT, it's not that big a deal if he loses this game draft-wise, because he has drafted heavier towards Game 2 and Game 3. $40 per win here. It's not too shabby, but also it's the placement in the group that the players want. Technically speaking, though, Daniel could be relegated. I just feel very strongly that he is not going to be relegated. But if he loses this series, he's then in at least the 4th place spot and pretty close to falling into the 5th or 6th place spot if he doesn't get results later on. So, 3 docks for Daniel. Fishing galore. DauT on 2 docks. Remember, there's no, like, discount on fishing ships for DauT, so it's pretty unrealistic, I think, that he could maybe go for 3. I think 2 makes sense, whereas Daniel saved quite a bit of wood so far. Daniel just scouting around, looking for more fish around his docks. Daniel will click up here to feudal age. He clicks up faster than DauT. He has more fishing ships than DauT. And he only clicked up faster than DauT, actually, because DauT had more TC idle time. But normally the play now is to discuss what buildings they're going to build. Will we see a barracks? Will we see an archer range? When will they transport? Right now, Daniel's going to transport pretty early. Transport's already on the way, and he's also going to bring vills. He also hasn't made a mill yet, which tells me he will not mark it. So I think we will see Daniel make a barracks as part of his build. This is really good timing. Oh, he actually is going to make the barracks here. Interesting. Okay. I don't think the barracks has a lot of value here. I still think the barracks could be helpful in the middle. But this is going to be for scouts and middle map control. And DauT, this is just going to be a water play from him, at least for the time being. But eco count's similar. DauT was just a bit later to the fishing ships, which makes sense. Res collected. Daniel a bit ahead in food because of having additional fishing ships for a bit. That makes sense too, right? Here comes Daniel. He's about to hit the next age. They don't know how narrow this island is right now. And Daniel's going to drop a stable on the hill. And then the blacksmith at home. This is epic. Then he queues up a Vil, and then he queues up Loom, and he's going to click up. This is really good. And DauT's going to go galleys. Whoa, galleys. Well, he doesn't want to go into a fire ship war. But, you know, it's interesting. I said when DauT played running in the first round, DauT would never go galleys again. I think the quote was, I wouldn't surprise me if DauT, when he plays migration again, does not go for galleys. Because I think he was a little fortunate to win that game. I think running will consider it a throw, what happened. And I do feel as though the galleys take too long to mass. DauT's also not known as someone who has the best micro. But he does love cav archers, right? Like, he's someone who likes to make a lot of range units. Look at Daniel right now, scouting around. Looking, and he should be making fires. And the direction he sends his fires is actually pretty important here. Because the idea is by the time the galleys get over here to kill your fish, you can click War Galley, and then the fires push the galleys all the way back. Daniel really waiting here. He knows that DauT will potentially transport villagers at some point. DauT's not doing that yet. Daniel's making so many scouts at the moment. DauT hasn't even clicked up to Castle Age. And DauT is going to see Daniel's transport, which is kind of funny. And Daniel will know his opponent's going galleys now, and now the 2 galleys arrive, and now you have to run away because you need all your ships together. Transport actually making it out of here. Transports are slightly faster than galleys, apparently. But okay, first kill of the game is on a transport ship, just as we all expected. And Daniel's going to try and sneak a forward dock up there because he just sailed past a bunch of fishing ships. So, War Galley upgrade for Daniel. He's honestly, everything's been so crisp and so clean about timing so far. This is a little risky. A lot of the time, you're thinking second town center right now. But I think he knows that maybe the galleys, if they have time to mass, could be a problem. And wants to have a way of threatening the fish. But if this does get denied, wasted opportunity, wasted time. Does DauT see this at all? He does not. Instead, he has his galleys patrolling this way, and they're going to run into a fire, and he needs to micro backwards. And then over on this side, he's got his galleys patrolling. So now you have to micro on both sides and try not to make a mistake while also being expected to transport in the middle. You see my point? Like, this is a lot of work. It's so much easier for Daniel because Daniel could just pull the weak fires away and go home and repair them and just wait a little bit. That said, Daniel does not do that. He does have the forward dock here, though. And he does do that, actually. DauT's going to chase that down. Over here, Daniel also pulls the weak one away. And Daniel's going to be streaming fires forward. DauT never saw this. DauT will see this one, and DauT now getting the War Galley upgrade, but he has not made a transport ship yet. He's not in the middle yet. He hasn't killed fishing ships yet, and his fishing ships are now extremely exposed due to the forward fires. Still finding it so difficult to micro both sides right now as DauT. He is microing it, right? He is paying attention to it, but the damage that Daniel's doing is going to start to add up if the fishing ships aren't efficient for DauT, and DauT doesn't have a TC on land. Now, I'm a little concerned that Daniel hasn't gone for a TC yet. That's definitely my concern for him. I think if you're going to commit so much to water, I would say careening would actually make sense. It is cheaper. But Daniel says, screw town centers. This is a Navy game, and sad for all the turtle ship fans we haven't seen it yet from DauT. And Daniel still making more docks. Really going for the kill here on water. Okay, so Daniel's going to hop out with his fires right after a demo hits. So that will lead to a good engagement. DauT's still got quite a few war galleys right now. DauT is the better KD. His fishing ships, though, are in harm's way. There's another demo for Daniel. He's not actually going to use it just yet. He actually micros away with it. Still microing, and will actually hit 2 ships. Meanwhile, you've got DauT finally making it across on both sides. This could be huge. Daniel doesn't necessarily have defense for that. Are both players going to lose fish here? Daniel making another transport ship so he can try and transport the light cap to DauT's island. That is crazy. I feel like Daniel had a great start and he just needed the second TC on land. He's abandoned the normal game plans. I mean, both players really have abandoned the normal migration game plans here. That transport ship obviously not going to accomplish anything. DauT coming in with war galleys here. We'll get some snipes. Here, though, he's losing war galleys to the fires. He's still got forward fires coming in. And Daniel's not stopping. He's going to continue to do this. DauT's got just 6 fishing ships right now. Okay, but... Okay, do you guys understand the weakness of the galleys? I just want everyone in the YouTube comments and everyone on my live stream, even if I'm full of it, just say, I get it now. If you just say that, it makes me very happy. Because DauT finally got over there, and then he just gets pushed back. It's so much work. Now, if Daniel keeps giving him water fights nonstop and doesn't have a 15 villager lead in the middle, then it might actually be okay. Right? Because there's always a point where the galleys eventually pay off. Daniel's just like, we're going to kill, and we're going to kill quickly. Transport ship. Highly questionable. And where are the villagers? Making another dock! Danny boy, you're so good, dude. Do yourself some favors here. And just make a TC. Wild game here, though. I mean, I am appreciating the fact that this is very different from some of the other games we've seen. Turtle ships from DauT are out. You can't expect to try and beat this type of Navy now. The idea really is that it takes a long time for DauT's approach to pay off. And then by the time he does clear you up at home, you have 2 or 3 TCs producing. I think Daniel's going to try fast imp here. Look at him selling his stone. He's going for university. He's going for a monastery. Daniel is going to try fast Imperial Age. And now DauT is going to be on the move on this side. Fishing ships are going to start to go down. The food eco. I mean, you don't have a single farm. Oh, man. I think this is a classic case of trying to be too fancy. The light cav would have been fine to keep there. They're still helpful. You killed some of DauT's fishing ships. Just those 2 villagers, all they wanted to do was build houses and forward docks. I mean, if imp is hard to get to with the Italians, I think you know something's gone wrong. And DauT's clicked up to imp as well. It's a 1 TC island-only type of fast Imperial Age from him. As they've both been buying food here. Baiting DauT into intense water control, maybe. I think you do that with one. I think 1 forward dock accomplishes that. I think the The fact that DauT's going War Galleys already accomplished that. But this game is close. Just based on what we've seen, based on what we know about this map, this has been a surprising game. It's been very unique. Whoa. Hold on a second. Huh? Wait, did DauT just lose Navy to nothing? Okay, DauT has 4 War Galleys and 3 fires, and he patrols. Huh? Okay, capture rate says they're still there, but they clearly disappeared, right? Huh? Okay, let's just keep playing. I guess when he moves them, maybe... Oh, okay. All right. I just didn't... Okay. I just couldn't see him. Whoops. It's just... The graphics, man. They're too good for my eyes. I'm getting old. Anyways, Daniel, he's beginning to get surrounded here. He's now 90 seconds away from hitting Imp. But, like, he's just got so much Navy. He's getting careening now, and that'll give his ships extra armor. He'll aim for fast fire. We'll see if he gets the resources, but he absolutely needs to make sure that he does not lose water now because he doesn't have any other plan. This is simply just water from him. As DauT's taking out docks over on this side. Careening's not going to complete, actually. Careening gets denied. Daniel's got 8 ships. He's got a dock here that can produce. He's got these 3 docks. These 3 docks, obviously the most important docks. And DauT is making cav archers with Koreans and has transported some cav archers and some spearmen and some villagers. And he's going to drop a castle here. What a weird game. And Daniel, he doesn't even try and go fast fire. He just calls the GG. Wow, that is such a disappointing game as a Daniel fan. I really thought his game plan was actually fine. Like, DauT's game plan, I think, should never work. I think there should be... Daniel goes for the town center. He's got such a massive eco lead. He might eventually lose some fishing ships, but what a weird game. And Daniel just... DauT wanted water fights, and Daniel just kept giving them to him. He's like, hey, take this dock, take this dock, take this dock. He had accomplished a lot to delay DauT and keep DauT off of land. But he never really took land himself and expanded and took advantage of it here. DauT wins the first game. Again, that's the thing, is like Daniel has this tendency to want to kill, to want to snowball. But strategically at times, there's just big question marks. DauT, very consistent with his game plan there. He wins with Koreans, a civ we've never seen a migration. Turtle ships, though, paid off. The War Galleys did pay off. And, Daniel... I hope that he doesn't come to the conclusion I've come to about this game and have the feelings I currently have about this game right after that game concludes, right? Because you don't want that mentally. You want to figure it out later. Or at least throw it out, your brain somehow. Daniel didn't collect as many resources as DauT. DauT had a significantly better KD, and that map control, that land control, never led into any type of eco whatsoever. For those that have watched Migration thus far, this was a very confusing game. But DauT gets that victory, and he's gaining on Yo right now. And after that, man, I'm thinking DauT could maybe even 3-0 this if Daniel can't brush up on his strategy. Okay, so remember the conversation introducing the series was Daniel picked a lot of really good water civs. Like, civs good for Migration. Civs good for potentially El Dorado, which will be game number 3. He's gone for Malay here. And I don't know, maybe he expected DauT to pick Incas. I actually think Malay, pretty good civilization to face up against Incas, but I was not expecting Incas or Malay here. So certainly a difference in choices here for these players. We've got Daniel playing as the Malay, of course. Obviously, just stated that like 16 times. Advances faster to the next stage. And the thing is, Daniel likes really nerdy archer builds with like early militia plays. So if I had to guess, I would say that that is something Daniel's going to try and go for here. DauT loves all landing with eagles and spears. He likes his 1 TC, and I think eagles are more They're cheaper for Incas than any other civilization. So I'd say that's notable. These golds in the back will be pretty good for DauT if he can get there. But yeah, the thing to pay attention to here is, will Daniel be able to find his timings with the archers and the militia? As DauT just has eternal struggles pushing in deer. It's just DauT things. To be fair, the deer was really trolling him there. I don't know why the deer was running that way. So, bit of a weird gen. This series was played a couple days ago, so this is before we updated Lands Madness and tweaked a couple things to make it a bit cleaner and more consistent. The wood on the back's incredible for Daniel. At least one of the wood lines. The gold on the front could be problematic, but obviously it looks like the berry position's pretty good for him. Can always take this gold, can always take that stone. DauT's base seems more compact, but you can't wall, using the edge of the map, so nothing's really that safe on Lands Madness. I suppose since everyone else seems to always go scouts, we could see the Malay player go scouts, but DauT obviously doesn't have that option being Incas here. So I would say, archer timing, kind of the key here for Daniel. It is tricky, though. If you can't get knights, you might be forced into longswordsmen against the eagles from DauT. And if you're forced into longswordsmen, the Incas can then make slingers. Can I look at the draft again real quick? Let me just take a tweak. This is a really weird draft. So Magyars was banned, Franks was banned. DauT picked Chinese first and didn't even pick Chinese here. Telling me that I think DauT will try Chinese on El Dorado then, which is also his home map. So clearly he's tested something there. Okay. It's just been a different series. Like the players have picked civilizations we wouldn't have expected, and certainly game number 1, even though we expected Italians, that was the first for me. Does the scout beat eagle in feudal? Yeah, in feudal age it does. The tricky thing though about scouts is you just don't have very good ones in this matchup. Like bloodlines isn't available. So even if you wanted to make light cap later on in combination with some stuff against like monks, the lack of HP could be problematic. I think this is purely a timing type of game. And Daniel will have enough confidence to try and get the job done there. That's how he's going to win, is snowballing army against DauT, either in early feudal or mid-feudal or early castle. This could eventually get into karambits. Like if this becomes a boom game and the Malay player gets into karambit warriors, that is really strong against eagles. So, and then the karambits are mobile too, so that feels much better than a longsword, but obviously you need a castle for that. Yeah, it does look like Daniel's got some berries close by. Like I said, like 5 days ago, or actually I don't know the exact day this was played, but this was originally scheduled to be covered yesterday. It was at least played before then, and then it got pushed to today, and so I don't know when this was played, but we updated Land Madness last night for things to be a bit more consistent with the berries. We'll see if Daniel chooses to do that. Take advantage of the berries that's close by. It's pretty exposed out there. Lots of hills and more to focus on over there. Right now, no villagers on gold for Daniel. Could see that shift, but this actually seems to me like this will be a scout build for him. The scouts into archers as DauT going to militia. And DauT does not know where his opponent is just yet, so he's headed off into the darkness with purpose. So this has been played and you're casting a wreck? Correct. Yep. I am casting a wreck. Can you sense the difference? Should feel the exact same. We have, so what we've done for the games, obviously if I'm casting a wreck, I've never seen the result, right? But the players have as much freedom to schedule as possible. So if they wish to play live, for whatever reason, they have 3 time slots to choose from on 4 separate days, and they can book those slots. There's like a booking system, basically. First come, first serve. And then if that's not convenient for them, they schedule it any time they wish to with their teammate, or not their teammate, sorry, their opponent. And then they play the games, and then we cover them as Rex. Ah, you're just concerned about the berries. Got it. Yeah. Berries should be good. We took some tweaks at some other things too. But ultimately, I don't expect that to be a concern here. As DauT's going to click Man-at-Arms. Now, Daniel hadn't scouted his opponent at all. And both players were kind of greedy in that regard. But DauT came forward with Man-at-Arms, which can do more damage at this time. And just, you know, with all the things you think about Daniel, well, let's see if he can take advantage of this type of uptime. I'm a little surprised to see him going scouts. Maybe he's tried to go for more extreme decisions here against DauT because of confidence issues, or maybe DauT expects him to go archers. Maybe DauT expected him to boom in the previous game on migration, just like we all did. But guys, there's just a couple things going on for Daniel right now that kind of concern me at the moment. DauT's had some really nice pressure here, and he's got an archer. He's also got a spearman going forward. Daniel really needs some skirms on the field because this will be 2 archers, 2 spearmen. Love this from DauT, right? Because if you send an individual archer, it gets picked off. The fact that each archer has a spearman with it is so good. Daniel will now be on ranged units as he shows up to the berries, and then there's another spear. DauT's already got 4 spearmen out. So he's fully prepped to deal with this. Also, Walden is woodlined partially anyways. And this is going to be really tricky for Daniel to fight off, but Scout Skirm combination's pretty good against everything that DauT's doing if the numbers come in. So the concern right now is food. You've been pushed off of berries a bit. But we do have fletching coming in for Daniel. This is where DauT will now make eagles because he knows skirms are going to be the main army of Daniel. And Daniel will try and bait spearmen back. Either spearmen or archers because the skirms do the most damage versus those. But this is what DauT loves. DauT loves to take a lot of early control with this type of army. And then it's like double barracked eagles as he uses the market to rush to Castle Age. Because eagles are the perfect play up against scout and skirm and castle. So I think the timing is important here on when Daniel clears this up. It's not if, it's probably when. Notice Daniel's actually headed over to stone right now, so he might be thinking about some defensive towers. But, you know, this is a really bad fight for Daniel. Oh my god. DauT just moves in with confidence. And maybe it is an if. I don't know, guys. Dicey times here for Daniel against DauT, who'd only lost 1 game coming into this series, and DauT so close to killing that villager, still hasn't killed any eco, but he cleared up every single scout. And now you're just stuck on skirms against a player that's making eagles. This is not the Daniel that we saw in round 1 and round number 2. He looked much better against Yo, in my opinion. And Yo's as big a name as DauT. So I think, you know, clearly showing how difficult consistency can be, right? Like, some of the best names bring the same level all the time. Consistency is definitely a trait that is hard to have in this game, as I'm sure many people can relate. Gale, Margugu's internet was having issues, so we'll cast Margugu Draken at some point this upcoming week. They weren't able to play the series. Alright, so if you know DauT, you know the stone's going to be sold soon. Boom. Stone is sold. Buys the food. Wants to click up. I think Daniel's thinking ahead here. He knows he's going to be all in with eagles, and he's hoping to click castle and drop a castle for karambits. That's his hope. And I'm sure DauT recognizes that, as DauT sees the villagers on stone here, because there's no towers or anything from Daniel yet. Melee do advance faster to the next stage, so if you don't click up at the same time, that would explain, or that could, you know, be okay. But I don't see how you're going to freely be able to take stone if the eagles are around. And DauT has looked really good, guys. This game has gone perfectly for DauT. There hasn't been a single thing that has happened to DauT in this game that has not been ideal for him. Every timing, every engagement's been perfect. He hasn't taken any damage. He won't be the fastest to Castle Age, though. And he is pretty hard committed onto eagles. So if Daniel can get a castle up, he's brought a bunch more villagers over here. That could maybe be okay. And DauT obviously knows his opponent's going to try and drop a castle, so he's going to try and get as much damage in here with these eagles while he can. Yeah, Inca villagers get blacksmith upgrades starting in Castle Age from the infantry, so it will be harder to kill those villagers. But right now, they wouldn't benefit from that as the first villager's killed. It's going to be the second villager killed. And it just, castles are pretty pricey, right? And DauT, if he's not killing villagers, he's at least stopping the villagers from taking stone here. Really, really tough spot for Daniel to be in. Again, he picked Malay on Land's Madness here. I thought he was picking it away from DauT, so DauT couldn't play it on Migration, and then, you know, DauT would have some problems, but obviously, you know, like we just saw in the Migration game, the Migration approach was kind of rough for Daniel as he's going to use the market now and try and get to this castle. He needs a little bit more stone. I actually think it's still winnable for Daniel, as funnily enough. Like, as long as he doesn't allow the eagles in anywhere, and he builds that castle, he will be able to start massing a unit, which should be pretty good against what DauT is making. Also, the elephant's not bad. I also think the castle position, if it goes up, is good because it, because it protects the gold. But, oh god, DauT's got Eagle Warrior now. This poor elephant's so slow. There were no quick walls on the villagers. DauT's like, how do you like it? You make fun of my castles, people. How do other people like it? Yeah. Knowing DauT, he'd probably say it feels really good to be on the other side of things right now. Because he's killed 10 villagers. He's going to kill 11 villagers. He's going to kill at least 14 villagers. I mean, Daniel's even getting attacked over here with no reaction. This is not good. Daniel lost 14 villagers, and now he can make karambits. But the worker efficiency over the last minute's down at 45%. And I'll kind of repeat what I said in game number 1 on Migration. When is the last time you have seen a Land's Madness game played like this? This is horrible for Daniel, and he calls the GG. DauT now up 2-0. Daniel has, with live results, 3 wins after 2 rounds and now 2 games. If Daniel gets 3-0'd here, he's in 4th position, but then he's tied. Actually, no, he's tied with running for 4th or 5th position, and this is just not the Daniel that, you know, I know and love and feel comes in with confidence into games. He has not been making decisions that are going to win him games against DauT. And DauT's played well. Like, DauT has brought it today. Game 1 was obviously wild, but this game, pretty much textbook stuff from him. Gets the job done. And now you kind of worry for Daniel's mentality going into the 3rd game. It is DauT's home map. And it's a map that clearly DauT's comfortable on. Also, I think DauT drafted specifically for this next map as well, so he should have a really good civ. I am so confused right now, guys. I'm not confused with DauT's pick. Welcome to game number 3. This is on El Dorado. We've seen some epic games on this, including fish traps around the town center earlier. Look it up. But of all the civilizations you would expect from Daniel coming into game 3, from the draft that we have seen, now I didn't cross off the civs that he played. He already played Italians. He already played Malay. Italians and Malay seem pretty good. You would think number 1 pick Dravidians on a map where fishing's really important would make a lot of sense. But Daniel goes for Bengalis. Now, I've never seen Bengalis on this map, so I don't know what to expect. But I could tell you that it does feel as though it is maybe just a low confidence pick from Daniel. I don't know. Like, you get the 2 villagers when you get to the next age out of each TC, so that's nice. And maybe he's thinking that Chinese are going to be really strong with more vills at the start, and that will be his way of catching up. Now, weakness of the Chinese start is usually you got to get the food to produce the next villager. You got to get loom, all that good stuff. DauT did get loom, but I mean, DauT's had 3 seconds of TC idle time, so DauT will maintain that villager lead for quite some time. There's fire here when I look at this area of the map. It's a weird capture age bug. Sorry about that. I'm going to have to look at DauT's base. The thing that I feel is a little awkward with Chinese, and is why I'm slightly surprised we're seeing DauT pick them, is I find that it feels very natural to move away from the water with the Chinese, and I have found that the water becomes really important. So if it is a water fight, I mean, Bengali ships do regenerate over time, so they would win the 1v1 fire galley war. But Bengalis just scream awkward to me, right? Not being able to make any knights. But we do see a lot of pikes on this because you run out of gold. So maybe like pikeman monk is the thinking for Daniel in the middle. Maybe a castle could go up there in the middle golden stone area. But yeah, you know, I'm a little shook at the moment because this doesn't seem like the same player at all that we saw in round 1 and round 2. Daniel. And again, live standings, he's got 3 wins. Running has 3 wins. Valis has 5. And Daniel already played Valis. So really looks good for Valis then potentially to snipe that playoff spot if Daniel doesn't at least snag 1 win here. Now again, the positive for Daniel, we'll see, of course, what happens. But the positive is he is playing running and then licks in his final 2 rounds. So there is that. But, you know, lots to think about, lots to talk about. And I think talking about the results are important. Like, if DauT gets the 3-0 here, he's then tied with Yo. And the fact that Yo and DauT will play the final round. Which, I mean, even if DauT were to lose this game, it does feel like that final rounds could still determine who gets first place in the group. And DauT and Yo always produce some pretty ridiculous games. So yeah, we've seen Dravidians quite a few times. It was the very first pick from Daniel. Didn't end up seeing it here. And having played with awkward strategies before to try and catch my opponent off guard, having had a good opening strategy and then switched out of it, and then lost games, I could sense that maybe there's a little bit of frustration for Daniel right now in himself. I think he will look back to game number 1 and maybe did that going into game number 2 and just kind of felt like, why did I throw my plan out the window? Why did I not just stick to the basics there? So you hope, obviously, that Daniel can maybe turn it around because he is the underdog in this series. And if he gets 1 win, then you're like, okay, we played DauT, we played Yo, we played Valis. We've got the quote-unquote weaker 2 players left. I can still make a run for that playoff spot. Also, just remembered my prediction in the prediction contest was 2-1 for DauT in this series. And guys, as of 4 days ago, I was first place in the prediction contest out of 400 entries. I posted it on my Twitter. I talked about it. I'm like, wow, predictions are fun. I'm tied for 13th right now, which is not okay. And it's been a bad 2 days. Again, reminding me how hard it is to predict these things. Congrats to whoever I warmed the seat up for in first place. Daniel's got a full wall here on this side. That's not that crazy, right? Because the Chinese are normally going to play in towards land. So we could see like scouts or archers maybe. DauT going greedy into the 5th fishing ship right now. And then there's Daniel adding a barracks. I like the approach from Daniel to wall this. And I like the fact he's going for a barracks too. So we'll probably see scouts from him. Karma has come for you? Karma? What do you mean karma? Doesn't karma... Whoa, there's a hole there. Doesn't karma imply that I've done something wrong? Daniel's like, thanks for showing me that, DauT. That would have never found that. Oh, man. Okay. Daniel was walling this. Whoops. And he now chooses to back away because he knows DauT's scout is going to be there. He'll send a spearman that way. He did scout where DauT's dock is. Both players are making a fire galley right now. And does not know that DauT has a barracks yet. So he won't know that DauT will be making more scouts. Feels like that's something you've got to check for. He's going to go to the side here. Could see him wanting to kill a villager. He's down 2-0. Probably steaming a little bit. And you want every advantage you can get, especially against the Chinese. It is DauT after all. DauT's not known for quick walling. And DauT just pulls more vills and pulls the scout over, so DauT will be fine. DauT also unable to find damage just yet. And DauT will just chase the scout down for the time being. Dock in the north for Daniel, where he's adding more fish. DauT actually just has 1 defensive fire right now. He hasn't added much on water, but it's because both players were late to gold. I could see DauT spending more gold soon, having more fires. And Daniel's actually just fish booming, and he's not going for any scouts. He's just simply gone for spears, which I kind of like. As long as he gets the walls down. On paper, this is really good because it's spears out there for the scouts. And Daniel now loses his only scout. I don't know if he knows that DauT actually has more scouts out. Obviously, he has the spears patrolling. He may have assumed it, but... both players adding more fish. Both players now adding some navy. We'll see if that pays off. But the walls not being complete means that DauT could just run right through. He does get hit, though. Overall, Daniel will probably be okay. And another hit there from DauT. I heard it. There was no damage done, though. The animation and the sound, sometimes, they don't actually match in this game, which is kind of rare, but it is the case. And DauT just looking for damage somewhere. Probably not going to find it, but he does split up his scouts. Daniel quick walls. Spearmen are around. DauT micro. And fires have met down here. Now, this is where the Megalis should win because of the regen. Right? Like, he was winning that, Daniel. I don't think he noticed he was winning that because he's looking at this. You notice the annoyance of the scouts. So look at the difference. DauT has taken almost all of his fish, and he's also heavily on the turkeys. Daniel really heavy on wood. Daniel's got 18 on wood. DauT just got 13 on wood. Maybe Daniel backed away for a bit more regen. DauT goes for a villager. Doesn't get the villager. DauT still being a pain, and I love what DauT has done here, guys. I also love that both players have fished a lot. But, you know, like, at some point, the fishing ships could go down for either of them. They have to be really careful. DauT here repairing. Daniel needs to pay attention there. Tough to do when you're looking elsewhere. But you've got to expect it. And he doesn't do it just yet. Has another ship on the way on full HP. And this could still go either way this game. But Daniel hasn't clicked up yet. Guys, look how many vills he has in queue. This is me when I have too many cups of coffee. I'm not even kidding. In a tournament, tournament pressure, and too much coffee. Got like 9 vills in queue. I bet you his APM is off the charts as well. Oh, look at DauT. Such a sick, speedy player. I guess he's had scouts. Oh, this is an important moment. DauT is on stone, by the way. Nice little mining camp from him. And DauT's going to think about knights for the middle. Maybe just scouts in the middle into a castle drop. I could see Chukunu being the answer to any pikes. Daniel still hasn't clicked up. Again, he was just so late on food. Right? He just had so much on wood. And also Chinese eco pretty strong. DauT might actually just TC the middle here. Daniel's still more than in this. He's late to Castlades. He's still more than in this. As he pushes DauT down here. DauT repairing with his ship. Daniel getting some nice kills, though. He killed the scout here. He also could maybe get some damage done here. He spent that extra wood, guys, on lots of ships right now. DauT has kind of cut the Navy out of the equation a bit. I mean, just he doesn't have as much as Daniel does. This is what I love about the map. Pros and cons. How do you spend in your res? DauT goes to castle and goes for the TC. But now he's kind of getting pushed back here. Didn't lose that much. And he's going to have the War Galley upgrade, though. So he will actually have the upgraded ships for 2 minutes. So I still prefer DauT's position. And yeah, he's protecting this area with upgraded ships. He'll be fine there. Here, he's going to be fine. And then here, he's got the TC. And he's got the Siege Workshop. And it just feels really rough for Daniel at the moment. Now you can't even make knights with your civilization, so going for knights against any siege isn't an option. Does have scouts and spears here, though. Really trying to deny DauT's Siege Workshop, and this is kind of out of nowhere. DauT will complete his Siege Workshop. Daniel can see the TCs up in the middle because of how the map works. A good play overall from Daniel is he's still just a little bit away from clicking up. He still has his navy around, still can upgrade his ships. Does need to be careful with his fishing ships here. This is all of his fishing ships. There's 10 of the 12, actually. They're all exposed. DauT really wants a castle here. And Daniel has seemingly forgotten about this, so his fish are disappearing quickly. DauT's dropped the castle. Daniel needs to focus on his land units. He also needs to focus on the fights, but DauT has the ship upgrades, so DauT's finding the engagements here. DauT's fishing ships are also being hit, though, but this is significant, right? Like, those will disappear. And that's just a given. DauT could still technically save his. And now, you know, you're kind of falling behind on water a little bit, and then you don't have the middle, and DauT's going to have a castle and a TC there. And he's going to have more fishing ships. Really nice prioritization from DauT. He didn't forget about the water. He actually has the better eco KD. He didn't forget about lands, but he didn't overinvest into either of them, right? He wasn't too heavy on water. He also has not been too heavy on land. And Daniel's wood line is on the front. He does have another wood line over here, and Daniel calls the GG. Daniel gets swept, which I did not expect here after Daniel's performance in the first 2 rounds. And now, the fight for playoffs and relegation, definitely, I mean, I'm leaning a little bit more towards a relegation fight for Daniel right now, even though in the final 2 rounds, he's playing up against players that are the weakest remaining in the group. DauT is now tied with Yo, 8 wins, 1 loss after 3 rounds. DauT has had a stellar performance thus far in TTL. And I went from thinking Daniel could win this series to that. And I'm a little disappointed that the level wasn't higher, but at the end of the day, you got to take it back to DauT, player like him who's been around for 20 plus years, and just how consistent he is. And consistency is something that's a struggle in this game. So before this series, these were the odds for Daniel. 20% for second, 30% for third, 31% for fourth, 19% then for fifth. And before the series, it was just 30% for DauT to end up being first. Let's look at this now. Apologies, this will take some time to load. Rip my prediction score as well, everybody. But yeah, look at this now. So I don't know what's making the difference between DauT and Yo in terms of the in terms of the prediction for first, but basically a 50-50 fight between DauT and Yo right now over first and second. Valis then becomes 55% favorite to end up getting third place, and Daniel, he's more favored to be fourth place than anything. Still has the chance for playoffs though. But that is what this group looks like after 3 rounds. 1 and 2 most certainly going to be DauT and Daniel. And then we'll see if Daniel or Running can maybe overtake Valis and maybe take the third place playoff spot. Valis has got to be loving life right now. The fact that just happened. Holy cow. Because Valis lost 2-1 to Daniel. But Valis was able to snipe a win against DauT. It's just like such a weird little food chain. And then Daniel gets 3-0'd by DauT. Just to show the upcoming sets, Yo will have Valis, and Yo will have DauT. And then DauT will have Lix, and then DauT will have Yo. So I think that obviously the DauT Yo series is going to be the most important one for these two, but obviously important for both DauT and Yo to get as many wins as they can against their players. For Daniel, though, I could still see him getting like 7 or 8 wins. So he could still climb right back into third place. It's just he did himself no favors here today. A lot of people had confidence in him for a reason. Daniel will be playing Running, who he's tied with. So that's a huge series. That's like a lose and you might be relegated type of series. And then the final series for Daniel is against Lix, who, I mean, may be struggling with motivation now that he's almost... It feels like he's almost guaranteed to be relegated, but it does say he's got 2% chance for fourth place. But Lix has not won a game yet. He was close against Valis, but he has not won a game yet, so that's the kind of the big storyline there. Key status, DauT and Yo are safe. Yeah, you say this after every series. Yes, I'd like to congratulate DauT and congratulate Yo on being safe from relegation. It's half a joke, but also Vinchester, Nikov, MBL... all got relegated from the previous season. So I guess big names being safe from relegation at this point is a pretty big deal.